Let me be straight with you. Yamaha just pulled the covers off something that's got the retro naked crowd absolutely losing their marbles. And if you're not paying close attention, like really paying attention, you might just miss why this little machine matters more than just about anything else rolling out this year. We're talking about the 2026 Yamaha XJ400D. Within hours of the reveal, the forums were already on fire, with people throwing around phrases like most significant small displacement Yamaha in over a decade. So stick around, yeah? Because by the time we're done here, you're gonna see exactly what all the fuss is about. Let's chew on the name for a second, because if you know your Yamaha lore, and I mean really know it, you probably felt a little shiver when you heard XJ400D. Rewind to 1981. Yamaha rolled out a bike called, you guessed it, the XJ400D. A lean, mean, air-cooled inline form naked that punched way above its weight class. It wasn't flashy, didn't try to be. It was just brutally well-sorted. Engineering first, zero gimmicks. And now, all these decades later, Yamaha's gone digging through the archives, dusted off that nameplate, and slapped it on a machine built for a world that barely remembers the original. Wild, right? So what is this new XJ400D exactly? At its heart, it's a modern retro naked. Think of it as living in the same neighborhood as the Kawasaki Z400 or the Honda CB300R, but with its own distinct Yamaha swagger. Clean, sculpted tank lines, a round LED headlamp that's practically a love letter to the '81 original, and an overall stance that whispers, "I'm not trying to be aggressive, I'm just trying to be honest." And honestly, in a market drowning in neon graphics and fake aero winglets on bikes that'll never sniff a track race, honest is downright refreshing. Alright, here's where I know the comments section is going to get spicy, so let's just dive in. The engine. Yamaha went with a 399cc liquid-cooled parallel twin for the XJ400D, a pretty significant departure from the original's air-cooled inline 4. And before you start typing that angry rebuttal about how it's a downgrade, just hear me out for a sec. This new twin is tuned for a fat, juicy torque spread in the low to mid-range. And let's be real, that matters way more for your average daily ride than some screaming top end that you'll never touch outside of a track day. Early numbers are hinting at about 44 horsepower and around 38 newton-meters of torque. That puts it right smack in the middle of the A2 license-friendly category, which, by the way, is absolutely exploding in popularity right now. Quick pattern interrupt, because I can already hear some of you grumbling. 44 horsepower? Pfft, my lawnmower probably makes more torque than that. Okay, fair point, but here's the thing nobody likes to admit. Most riders never actually use the power they think they need. This bike isn't built to embarrass a Hayabusa at a drag strip. It's built so a 19-year-old in Ohio, or a returning rider in their 40s who's got a bad back and a busy life, can actually enjoy every single ride without needing a chiropractor on speed dial. There's something to be said for that. Let's shift gears and talk chassis, because this is where the XJ400D gets quietly serious. The frame is a steel tubular backbone design. Nice callback to the original, right? Paired with a non-adjustable telescopic fork up front and a preload adjustable monoshock up back. Wet weight is rumored to be right around 168 kilograms, which is genuinely feathery for this class. And the seat height? A very accessible 790 millimeters. That number alone is going to win over a huge chunk of shorter riders who've been priced out of confidence by all these tall, intimidating adventure-style bikes that are dominating the market these days. Brakes are a single front disc with a twin-piston caliper and a rear disc with ABS as standard. Nothing earth-shattering there, but no corners cut either. Wheels are cast aluminum wrapped in a 110-section front tire and 150-section rear tire. Gives it just enough visual width to look substantial without tipping into trying too hard territory. You know the look. Let's pause for a second, because I want you to paint a picture in your head. Imagine rolling up to your local coffee shop on this thing. No fairings, no aggressive, crouched-over riding position, just clean lines, that round headlamp, and a stance that somehow looks like it belongs in a museum and a parking lot at the same time. That's the entire appeal of this bike distilled into one image, and Yamaha clearly knows it. Here's another pattern interrupt for you. quick question. What's the #1 thing that kills retro naked bikes for most riders? I'll tell you, it's not the power and it's not the styling. It's the damn price. Manufacturers love to slap a heritage tax on anything that looks even remotely vintage. So let's talk numbers, because this is honestly the part that's going to catch people off guard. Reports are pointing to an MSRP right around $5,799 US. Let that sink in for a minute. That puts the XJ400D head-to-head with the Kawasaki Z400 and actually undercuts several of its retro-styled rivals that charge a premium purely for the classic aesthetic. If that price holds at launch, Yamaha isn't just building a nostalgia piece. They're building a genuine value play in a segment that desperately needed one. Color options? Expected to include a heritage white and red combo that mirrors the 1981 original almost stroke for stroke. Alongside that, there's a more modern matte black variant for riders who want the silhouette without quite as much of the throwback statement. Smart move, because it lets the bike appeal to two completely different buyer mindsets without changing a single mechanical component. Clever, that. Now, before we get to the part that's going to flip everything I just told you on its head, let's talk about who this bike is actually for. It's not for track day warriors. It's not for highway mile-munching tourers either. No, this is a city bike, a first big bike. I want something with soul that won't bankrupt me bike. It's for the rider who wants a Saturday morning ride with no destination, who wants people to ask, wait, is that bike actually new? At every single stoplight. That's the magic of it. And that brings me to something important. Yamaha's been notably quiet on a few key details: final EPA emissions certification, confirmed launch markets, and an actual on-sale date. That kind of radio silence usually means one of two things. Either the bike is way closer to launch than anyone thinks, or there's something else going on entirely. So here's the twist, and I need you to actually sit with this for a second. Everything I just described to you, the specs, the price, the colorways, none of it has been officially confirmed by Yamaha as a production motorcycle. The 2026 Yamaha XJ400D, as detailed in this video, is a concept build, pieced together from leaked patent filings, industry speculation, and the unmistakable DNA of the 1981 original. Yamaha has not confirmed a production timeline, and there is no guarantee this exact bike ever reaches a showroom floor. But here's why it actually doesn't matter as much as you'd think. Concepts like this one are exactly how brands test the waters. The original XJ400D came out of nowhere in 1981 and became a cult classic almost by accident. If Yamaha is even quietly testing the idea of bringing this name back, that tells you something about where the small displacement naked market is heading. And more importantly, it tells you Yamaha is paying attention to exactly the kind of riders watching this video right now. If you want to see how this compares to a bike that's already confirmed and hitting dealerships, I've got a full breakdown on my channel covering everything you need to know before you sign on the dotted line. Hit that video on screen now, subscribe so you don't miss what Yamaha announces next, and I'll see you in the next one.